Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about a dramatic new twist that has shaken everyone to the core. The tragedy began when Michael suffered severe burns after an explosion in Sonny's home. The devastation was overwhelming for Michael and his family. 3/4 of his body was affected, leaving him in critical condition. Carly was beside herself with grief, struggling to cope with the reality that her beloved Michael might never recover if he did not receive specialized treatment. In the midst of her anguish, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of Brennan, who stepped in at the perfect time. Brennan knew of a world-class medical center in Germany renowned for its exceptional burn treatments, and he wasted no time assisting Carly. Not only did he locate this facility, but he also provided a private plane to fly Michael overseas. It was an act of kindness and efficiency that eased Carly's despair and gave Michael the best shot at a full recovery. When Michael arrived at the hospital in Germany, the dedication and expertise of the medical staff became apparent immediately. From the physicians who carefully tended to his burns to the nurses who offered gentle care and support, every professional he encountered helped to lift his spirits. Nevertheless, an unexpected shock awaited him. Michael's world turned upside down the moment he spotted a woman who bore an uncanny resemblance to Nelle, his ex-wife. Long believed dead after a fatal fall from a towering cliff, Nelle had been presumed lost forever when her body was never recovered. Her evil deeds still haunted Michael and his loved ones, who believed they had put her schemes to rest. But now, in this German hospital, he saw a nurse named Mia who looked just like Nelle. More unsettling than the resemblance was the fact that she insisted she did not recognize him at all. At first, Michael was sure this had to be Nelle. Her disappearance and the lack of a confirmed body made him question every possibility. How could someone look so identical if they weren't the same person? To complicate matters further, Michael discovered hospital records indicating that Mia began working there in 2022. The very period when Nelle supposedly died. This timing only fueled his conviction that Nelle had faked her death, assumed a new identity, and now might be plotting another elaborate scheme. Suspecting that her claims of memory loss were a ruse, Michael cautiously observed Mia's every move, searching for proof of her deception. Yet the more time Michael spent with Mia, the more perplexed he became. Instead of the manipulative, destructive behavior that characterized Nelle in the past, Mia behaved with kindness, patience, and genuine empathy. She stayed by his side during grueling treatments. She comforted him with gentle words when the pain grew too strong, and she seemed wholeheartedly dedicated to helping him recover. Against his better judgment, Michael found himself letting his guard down. He could not deny the warmth he felt around her and the way her bright personality gave him hope, despite his lingering suspicions. Gradually, Michael and Mia formed an emotional bond. They confided in each other, sharing views on life, family, and the delicate balance between survival and love. Every meaningful conversation drew them closer together, and Michael realized that his heart was opening to Mia in a way he never would have thought possible, especially given the dark shadow of Nelle that clouded his memories. Before long, the closeness between them blossomed into genuine affection. Mia's steadfast care during his recovery became indispensable, and Michael began to rely on her presence. Despite his growing love for Mia, Michael could not entirely dismiss his doubts. He was haunted by the question: was this woman truly someone new and good? Or was Nelle hiding behind a carefully constructed facade? The possibility that Mia was simply biding her time, waiting to exact a future revenge, weighed heavily on him. He knew exactly how cunning Nelle could be, how she once ensnared him in her manipulations. He also knew that if Mia were Nelle, a love affair with her would be the biggest mistake of his life, an emotional trap that might destroy him more completely than his physical injuries ever could. For now, Michael is torn between these two realities. On one hand, there is the woman who radiates compassion and understanding, a vital part of his healing process. On the other, there is the lingering specter of Nelle's crimes, reminding him of betrayal and suffering. His instincts demand he remain vigilant, yet his heart longs for the solace Mia provides. It is entirely possible that she truly has no recollection of her past, if she is indeed Nelle. Alternatively, the woman caring for him in Germany could be a stranger with an uncanny resemblance and coincidental timing, nothing more than a cosmic twist of fate. Carly, meanwhile, wrestles with her own concerns. Though relieved that Michael is getting the best care available, she cannot shake the unease that this new nurse might pose a threat. She worries that Michael's pain and vulnerability make him susceptible to potential manipulation. Carly knows all too well how unscrupulous Nelle was, recalling the heartbreak she inflicted. Yet Carly also sees her son gradually healing, both physically and emotionally, under Mia's compassionate watch. Torn by maternal love and deep suspicion, Carly does not know whether to celebrate this miracle nurse or to dig deeper into her mysterious past. Brennan, having established a bridge to the German hospital, stays involved from a distance, wanting to ensure Michael's safe recovery. He is aware of Michael's suspicions, and he senses the need for caution. Still, as a close friend of Carly's, Brennan recognizes how difficult it is to find reliable leads from across the Atlantic. The secrecy swirling around Nelle's supposed death only adds to the confusion, leaving all parties uncertain about which clues are real and which are red herrings. Ultimately, Brennan's intervention, while crucial to getting Michael the best burn treatment possible, has also led to this startling predicament. As the situation unfolds, viewers and those closest to Michael will be left questioning every detail. Is Mia truly a good-hearted caregiver who simply bears an uncanny resemblance to Nelle? Or is this a chilling reappearance of one of the most manipulative figures they have ever known, a woman who faked her demise and has now returned under a new identity, fueling a hidden agenda for vengeance? Michael's own heart hangs in the balance, as he must decide how much he can risk by letting his feelings guide him. In the coming days and weeks, more layers are bound to unravel. Michael may find more evidence that either exonerates Mia or proves beyond a doubt that she is indeed Nelle. Carly may intervene to protect her son from potential heartbreak or danger, while Brennan might use his connections to uncover the truth once and for all. The hospital staff may also inadvertently reveal telling details, or new witnesses might surface to either confirm or refute Mia's background. Through it all, Michael's desire for a peaceful recovery clashes with the haunting knowledge that someone from his past may be lurking in the shadows. This development is certain to keep everyone on edge. Whether Mia is genuinely a new person, or truly Nelle hiding a sinister plan, remains uncertain. For now, the only thing that is crystal clear is that Michael's life has taken a complicated turn. Caught between hope for a second chance at love and fear of repeating the mistakes of the past, he faces one of the hardest choices he has ever had to make. Will this lead to a bright future of healing and genuine love, or will it descend into another round of deception and heartbreak? Stay tuned for more updates as we continue to follow this deeply unsettling yet compelling storyline. It seems that no matter how determined Michael is to move forward, the ties to his past refuse to be cut completely. The next steps he takes in his fragile state could either lead him toward lasting happiness or back into the nightmare he thought was gone forever. Be sure to watch closely, because these revelations and the fate of Michael's heart may change everything you thought you knew about this extraordinary turn of events. Next, we're diving into an intriguing topic that's been sparking plenty of speculation in the soap opera world: the complex dynamics between General Hospital stars Laura Wright and Steve Burton, his fiancée Michelle Lundstrom, and Laura's long-term partner Wes Ramsey. It's a story that touches on emotions, relationships, and the inevitable comparisons that arise in such close-knit circles. Let's unpack the details. Are Laura Wright and Wes Ramsey taking the next step? Laura Wright's personal life has been the subject of much curiosity among fans. The talented actress, who has captivated audiences with her portrayal of Carly Corinthos on General Hospital, has been in a long-term relationship with fellow actor Wes Ramsey. Despite their obvious chemistry and seemingly solid bond, there has been no public indication of an impending engagement. Fans have often wondered whether Laura and Wes are content with their current relationship dynamic or if there's a deeper reason behind Wes's hesitation to pop the big question. Could it be that they've mutually decided marriage isn't a priority? Or perhaps they prefer their current arrangement, finding happiness in the simplicity of being together without formalizing it? Relationships come in many forms, and while traditional milestones like engagements and weddings are significant for some, others find fulfillment in less conventional ways. Laura and Wes might be among the latter, enjoying a deep connection that doesn't hinge on societal expectations. However, that hasn't stopped fans from speculating and even projecting their own hopes onto the couple's future. Steve Burton's new chapter. Adding fuel to the fire is the recent announcement of Steve Burton's engagement to Michelle Lundstrom. The news has generated plenty of excitement among fans but also raised some interesting questions, particularly about how those close to Steve might feel about his new beginning. Laura Wright, who shares a long professional history with Steve, is one such individual who's been swept into the conversation. While there's no suggestion of romantic interest between Laura and Steve, some have speculated that Laura might feel a tinge of envy not over Steve himself, but over the milestone he's reached with Michelle. Seeing a friend or colleague embark on a new chapter of their life can sometimes stir feelings of introspection or longing, especially if one's own situation feels stagnant by comparison. For Laura, watching Steve move forward may serve as a reminder of the things she has yet to experience in her relationship with Wes. Michelle Lundstrom, the woman of the hour. Michelle Lundstrom, Steve Burton's fiancée, has quickly become a topic of conversation among General Hospital fans. Her upcoming nuptials with Steve mark a significant moment in their lives, and her presence has sparked admiration and curiosity. Who is the woman who captured Steve's heart? Michelle has largely stayed out of the spotlight, but her influence on Steve's life is undeniable. Their relationship seems to be built on mutual respect and shared goals, qualities that make their engagement a cause for celebration. However, the public nature of their announcement inevitably invites comparisons, something Michelle might not have anticipated. Her relationship with Steve is often juxtaposed with Laura and Wes's, despite the vastly different circumstances and dynamics. Emotional reflections and real-life parallels. For Laura, the spotlight on Steve's engagement may bring up mixed emotions. It's not uncommon for people to reflect on their own lives when witnessing significant milestones in the lives of others. While Laura and Wes appear to be perfectly content, moments like these can prompt a re-evaluation of what one truly wants. Is Laura secretly hoping for Wes to take their relationship to the next level? Or is she genuinely happy with their current status? Emotions like these are universal, and they resonate with fans because they reflect real-life struggles. Watching someone else achieve something you desire, whether it's personal growth, a new relationship, or a major milestone, can be both inspiring and challenging. Laura's situation highlights the complexity of human emotions, making her even more relatable to her audience. What does the future hold? Despite all the speculation, Laura Wright has remained tight-lipped about her feelings on both her own relationship and Steve's engagement. This silence has only fueled curiosity, leaving fans to fill in the blanks with their own theories and interpretations. Could Laura and Wes eventually surprise everyone with an announcement of their own? Or will they continue to embrace their unique journey, regardless of societal expectations? As for Steve Burton and Michelle Lundstrom, their engagement marks the beginning of an exciting new chapter. Fans are eager to see how their love story unfolds and what the future holds for them as a couple. Their happiness serves as a reminder that love can thrive in many forms, and each journey is as unique as the people involved. A tale of choices and comparisons. This story is more than just a glimpse into the lives of soap opera stars, it's a reflection of the choices we all face in our relationships. From deciding whether to take the next step to navigating the emotions that arise when others move forward, Laura, Wes, Steve, and Michelle represent different facets of the human experience. Their stories remind us that there's no single path to happiness, each journey is deeply personal and shaped by the individuals involved. So, what do you think? Will Laura and Wes surprise fans with an engagement of their own, or will they continue to chart their own course? And how will Steve Burton's new chapter influence his relationships with his General Hospital co-stars? Next, we're diving into one of the most chilling mysteries unfolding in Port Charles, a murder plot that could have devastating consequences. Could Drew Kane become the next victim in a web of danger and deceit? And is Cyrus Renault truly innocent of the next crime he's accused of? Let's explore these questions and uncover the many twists and turns in this developing story. Could someone try to kill Drew Kane? The stakes in Port Charles have never been higher, and Drew Kane might soon find himself in the crosshairs. Imagine this: Drew lands in the hospital with a relatively minor injury or illness enough to keep him admitted for a few days. Given the tension surrounding him, any of his numerous enemies could take advantage of his vulnerable position. With a murderer roaming the halls of General Hospital, what better time for someone to orchestrate an attack disguised as part of the serial killings? Drew's list of enemies is not short. Aside from Willow, there aren't many in Port Charles who would rush to his side in a moment of crisis. If anything, a large portion of the town harbors grudges or resentment against him. The frustration and anger he has stirred make him a prime target for someone to exploit the hospital's current chaos. The question is, who would want to take such a bold and dangerous step? And more importantly, would they succeed? A killer on the loose, the modus operandi. The grim reality facing General Hospital is the presence of a shadowy figure tampering with 4 bags and administering fatal doses of digitalis. The method is as cruel as it is calculated, leaving a trail of victims and unanswered questions. The chilling part? The murderer seems to be targeting individuals with connections to Sonny Corinthos, adding a layer of complexity to the investigation. But what if the pattern were broken? If Drew Kane, someone Sonny barely tolerates, were attacked in the same way, it would send the police department into a frenzy. Suddenly, their theory about the killer's motive would unravel, leaving them back at square one. This twist would create even more chaos in Port Charles, deepening the suspense and pushing the investigation in unpredictable directions. The role of the PCPD, a puzzle with no pieces. The Port Charles Police Department faces a daunting task in piecing together this puzzle. If someone attempted to kill Drew using the same method as the serial killer, the investigation would become infinitely more complicated. Drew's unpopularity means the list of suspects would be overwhelming. Half of Port Charles might have a motive. The police would struggle to connect the dots, especially with no clear link to Sonny's network. For the PCPD, this scenario would expose the vulnerabilities in their investigation. How do you catch a killer when the lines between real and copycat crimes blur? The department would need to dig deep, examining every possible angle, from old grudges to recent conflicts. And as the tension mounts, the people of Port Charles would be left wondering, who can they trust? Cyrus Renault, the red herring? In a surprising twist, Cyrus Renault might not be the one responsible for the next crime attributed to him. The infamous villain has a long history of wreaking havoc in Port Charles, but even he might find himself tangled in this web of intrigue. With someone mimicking the killer's method, it would be all too easy for fingers to point at Cyrus. After all, his reputation precedes him, and many are quick to believe the worst. But what if Cyrus is innocent this time? Such a revelation would throw the town into turmoil. It would force everyone to reconsider their assumptions and question whether the real danger lies elsewhere. Cyrus, meanwhile, would undoubtedly use the situation to his advantage, sowing doubt and confusion while maintaining his innocence. Could this be part of a larger plan, or is Cyrus truly being framed? A town on edge. The possibility of Drew being targeted and surviving would send shockwaves through Port Charles. If he realized he was a marked man, the implications would be far-reaching. Drew would have to grapple with the knowledge that someone wanted him dead and took advantage of the hospital's crisis to try to make it happen. It would be a wake-up call for him, forcing him to confront the enemies he's made and the choices that led him here. For the rest of the town, Drew's attack would serve as a stark reminder of their own vulnerability. If someone as strong and capable as Drew could be targeted, no one would feel safe. The hospital, once a place of healing, would become a battleground, its halls haunted by fear and suspicion. Could this be the beginning of a bigger plot? What makes this storyline so compelling is its potential to evolve into something much larger. The attack on Drew, whether successful or not, could be a catalyst for new alliances, betrayals, and power struggles. It could draw attention to hidden motives and expose secrets that certain residents of Port Charles would rather keep buried. The situation also raises a fascinating question: is the killer working alone, or is there a network of individuals orchestrating these events? The possibility of a larger conspiracy would take the story to new heights, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. What's next for Port Charles? As the danger escalates, the residents of Port Charles must navigate an increasingly treacherous landscape. The killer remains at large, the police are scrambling for answers, and no one is above suspicion. Drew's potential survival would add a layer of complexity, forcing everyone to confront their own fears and biases.